Sean the Average Angler. What is happening, folks? It's another great day here, and I have news. My local lake has turned over, and boy, it seemed to come out of nowhere for me. I mean, it didn't seem like temperatures to change that much and all, but it is a small lake. But we went fishing yesterday. Look for a little video tomorrow. I'm going to talk more about that. But today, we're going to talk about tubes. It was another requested video by one of my viewers. I try and, if you guys have requests, shoot them at me. Put them in the comments. I will do a video on them. Now, tubes, boy, there's just all kinds of them, huh? We got this. Reaction Innovations Boom Boom Tube, which isn't made anymore, sadly. This is a Dry Creek. This is, I believe it was a Big Boy Baits. They're not made anymore. This is a Dry Creek tube. Same as this brown one with the blue in it there. And then this one, some of my northern friends are going to have to help me out with. Okay, this is not a long tube, about 3.5 inches, but it's a double dip tube, and we're going to go over the differences here. First of all, the majority of these tubes, I like to fish an open hook. That open hook is usually a head like this. Now, you can use just about any kind of jig head as long as it has enough room right here. See that shank to poke through the tube so you can tie onto it. Now, this is a pretty small tube, so you can do two things to get this bait into it. One, just lube it with your mouth. Two, you can put a little scent around the head or around the butt here. I find it pretty easy to just, and then hold it up at an angle. See how I got the hook up? Just so that and there you go. Pops through, okay? Now you'll see. Now, these heads do come in a couple different shapes. This one's, some of them are narrower and will come back farther. The weight will have something to do with how it falls. Pretty much any bait you rig this way inside the tube will spiral. The spiral may just change based on the head. Now these ones, 3/16 bucktaillures.com. You'll see I buy quantity 25s. Now this tube here, I don't know how many you think there, 50, 100, I don't know. Anyway, I like tube fishing, okay? Tubes are very, very effective at certain times of year. Actually, they're pretty effective all times of year. For me, shines on certain types of water. When I am open hook fishing, this for instance, I'm typically going to be fishing where there's spotted bass, smallmouth bass. Not that largemouth don't eat this, they do. But this is very, very effective on spotted bass and smallmouth bass. Now, typically, almost always on that open hook presentation, I am going to throw that on my iRod Crusher 702, okay? Medium power, 7-foot spinning rod, braid to fluorocarbon leader, okay? Now, the other way I'm going to fish a tube is on the heavy stick. This is a Quercus IQ 764C. It's a heavy flip, 14 to 20 pound test. You'll see right now I have a jig on there. 7'6" flipping stick. You can go down to like a 744, something like a Quercus 744 Warriors Workhorse, Bass Warriors Workhorse rod, if you want something a little shorter. But The reason I'm going to that is this, to me, is a flipping tube. Okay, this is a great color. It's sprayed grass. I don't know, purple filters out so easily on the camera here. And when I'm flipping a tube, I'm always going to go with an EWG. Okay, it's just how I like to fish it. I'm going to go straight in the head. Now this head is a little thicker. It's solid up at the head and then opens up like a tube. This just helps. Run it back through, and then we're just going to skin hook it like so. Okay. You can punch with these. Okay. The nice thing about these when you're punching is because they're cylindrical and there's nothing there to catch, they slide through easier. You can use a lighter weight than other people that are punching with different things and have to use a heavier weight. Now this tube would be a smaller presentation flipping tube. You'll see it is a little bit smaller. Okay, same thing. Still use that 4/0 hook, maybe even go down to a 3/0 in this one. These are really, really good flipping baits in cold months. Really, really good sight fishing baits during the spring. And great fish catchers. Now, this is what's called a double dip. Okay, you'll see it is substantially fatter. And this came, maybe some of my smallmouth friends can chime in. Again, I'm going to use that head, insert it, and pop it through. But I got these from up north. They came out of Michigan, Wisconsin, something like that. And if you want to know if they're effective, there's that color. Okay, I got a couple of these. Again, it's to offer something different. It's this tube here with a little more bulk. Okay, a little bit more back here. It's salted. But overall, you'll see not too much of a difference in length, maybe a 1/2 inch. But these can be very, very good. Gives you a little more bulk, a little more presentation. Now, the beauty of the tube inside the head, and you'll see this one's a little fatter, and then of course this one's even fatter. When you put the tube jig inside the head, especially in this one, they become very, very snag resistant because it has the plastic around there. I just find that I get these back a lot. Unless I hook the hook on wood or something like that, most of the time you can get the baits out. Tube jigs are really good. They're not nearly as popular as they once were, at least in our area. My area, sorry. Get yourself some tube jigs and get out there and give them a go. If you want the flipping ones, I'll put them down in the description. These aren't available anymore. I have tons of these. But the Strike King, there's a Strike King flipping tube, coffee tube, and there's a few others. I'll put them down in the description down there. I'll try to cover all these. This one, like I said, we'll have to see if I can find them. I'm sure I can. All right, Sean the Average Angler, that's tube fishing 101. It's not very difficult to do. I actually used to fish these on a dart head and just go in the traditional way and thread it on. This is much more effective, more snag resistant. It just, to change one out, you got to retie. Okay, not a big deal. Tying doesn't take but a minute. We should be retying anyway. Sean the Average Angler, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.